Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm very happy that you've clicked on this video, and I'm hoping if it's your first time joining my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it, and a comment if you feel like I was informative enough or you have questions that you need me to answer, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. So guys, as you know, if you're in Kenya, our old generation passports are due to expire 30th of November, and I was planning to travel after that time in December, around that time. So I needed to get my passport changed, and I'm gonna just give you the information you guys need to know before you actually start going to apply for that new passport, because I've already made those mistakes, so you don't need to make them. You can just watch this video and you'll know exactly what you need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead, and because I listed them, because sometimes, you know, when you do these things and you totally forget exactly how the process was, I prefer to just note them down, and then when I come to share the video, I have at least the important things highlighted. So the first thing you need to know, guys, is you have to have an e-citizen account. That's the e-citizen, the government portal where you get to access different services, including the passport registration and forms and stuff like that. So you have to make sure you've logged on to it and you can sign in. So once you sign in, you go to immigration and fill in the forms and everything. And when you're filling in those forms, you don't even need to go to Nyayo house. You can do it from the comfort of your home with your phone, with your laptop or iPad or whichever device you have in the house that can actually log on to the internet and do stuff for you. So the things you'll need when now you're starting the process online, you'll need to have your original passport, you'll need to have your original ID, your birth certificate, and your parents' ID, at least 2 of your siblings soft copy IDs, and if you don't have siblings, I think that doesn't apply. And you also need to know your KRA pin as well. There are so many parts in the forms you're filling that you need to fill in details from your ID, from your passport, so you need that information at hand, at your fingertips. If you don't have your parents alive as well, I think there's a part where you skip that process. Then the other thing is you can pay for the passport page that suits your travel tendencies. So I got the one for 50 pages because I felt like I don't travel much, but when I travel abroad, I really need to have at least a decent passport. Also, depending on the passport agency, book your biometric passport appointment and any other center apart from Nairobi. I will say this because in Nairobi, it's where everybody tries to apply their passport from, which makes it become the center with the most applications. So if you're being given a biometric capture appointment date, it's gonna be very fast. So it will be easier for you to apply at the other centers, which are like Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisii, Embu, Mombasa, and maybe there's, I think, others I've not mentioned, because in such places the population that is applying for passport is lower, so your chances of your passport biometric capture appointment being set early is very high. So I personally applied in Kisii, and that's why I had to go. Of course, I had to use extra money because there's traveling, there's of course eating on the road, there's a lot of things involved, printing involved and everything. So I ended up using a lot of money, but I kind of used like let's give it a budget of 5,000 on top of the 6,000, I think 700 that we paid for the actual passport, because when you're applying you have to pay the fees so that you're given a date, and yes, those forms are required. So you also have to pay for the new passport replacement and print at least 2 copies of the receipts, the payment receipts that you will carry and take during your appointments. Also, there's no need to carry hard copy passport pictures. I actually didn't have any, so I ended up going to a cyber, guys, taking pictures, 4 of them, paying 150 shillings, which was completely not necessary because they don't need it. When you get to the passport biometric capture appointment center, they're gonna take your picture, so you don't need to give them your passport picture. So don't bother, don't carry, don't even waste money trying to get pictures. The only thing you need to do is look good. Make sure you look good, especially girls, ladies, please make sure you look good because the picture is gonna be taken. And don't wear your earrings and your ornaments. If you have piercing, make sure you don't have them that day because they are gonna make you remove everything. The only thing they wanna see is your clear ear, you know, your clear ears. So make sure you don't wear heavy ornaments on that day. because it'll make you remove them anyway. Also, you can complete the form on your phone. You don't need to go to the cyber. The only time you need to go to the cyber is to print and photocopy the necessary documents, which I will later tell you. So on the day of the appointment, now you've been given a day. So now for me, when I was going to apply in Kisii, they gave me, so I applied, I went to Nyayo House on 3rd October. And then the first thing I did is I wanted it to be my appointment to be in Nairobi. Then they gave me 60 days, guys. So I was gonna have my appointment like in 2 months time, but I didn't have that time, because if you're gonna be traveling, you need to book your flights early, you need to get your visa, and all that needs time. So if you're gonna do it late, it's gonna be a bit tricky for you. So yeah, so that's why I ended up having to take Kisii, because they were giving me on 14th of October. That's when my appointment was, which is a small waiting period, because between 3rd and 14th, those are like 11 days. So I was willing to wait just 11 days to do my appointments for the bio capture. Yes, so on the actual day, so these are the documents you need to carry with you. You need to have photocopies of the application form, just one photocopy of the application form, so you'll just print it at the cyber. You need your ID, your national ID, your actual physical ID. You'll need photocopy of your parents' IDs, both of them, one of them. If there's none, that doesn't apply. Your recommender's ID, guys. So your recommender is someone who really knows you well. It could be your best friend, it could be your family friend, it could be your teacher, it could be anybody who really knows you well. So you just need to have a photocopy of their ID. So make sure you carry that as well. You'll need your birth certificate, the physical one. Yes, you'll need your birth certificate. You'll need a photocopy of, actually I think you'll need just a photocopy of your birth certificate. You don't need to carry your birth certificate for the biometric capture, gosh. Your biometric capture, yeah, appointments. You'll also need the last 4 pages of your passport. So basically it's, you see the last page is that last one, not the one that has no writings, the last page, then the other one, then the opposite one, then the other one. That's how you take those pictures. But when you go to the cyber, they totally tell you what you need. Also, you'll need 2 copies of your passport payment fee. So make sure those are things you have with you that day, because they're gonna like be clipped to your file and be attached to your, that will be like your official file, okay? Then you'll need to carry your original ID, your original passport, especially if you're replacing it. If you're applying for a new one, I don't know if the process applies the same, but I'm just speaking up on behalf of people who actually had the old Kenyan passport and they're trying to shift to the new passport, East African passports. Yes. And if you book your appointment in Nairobi, make sure to carry a mask. If let's say you are willing to wait and you're not in a rush to get your passport, you're not planning to travel anywhere, you don't need to worry about it, just book in Nairobi. But now the thing about the Nairobi center is they insist on you coming in with a mask. So the good thing is, even outside there, they're selling the mask at 10 bob. But let's say if you still have masks at home, you don't need to like buy another one. Just carry a mask prior and just make sure when you reach there, you can actually get in with your mask without a problem. All right, so basically guys, those are the really important things to note when you're about to get to do your appointment. So currently I'm just waiting for my passport to be out. I was told to wait for 3 weeks, which I'm gonna be patient about. But you know, in Nairobi, if you have connections, please use them wisely, because they will save you a lot of time. So guys, I traveled to Kisii from Nairobi, which is like 6 hours from Nairobi. That's a lot of time, and I hate being on the road by road. I hate being on the road by bus or matatu, because it's so slow. And by flight, I could have connected to Kisumu, and then now from Kisumu to Kisii, I would have used like maybe 1.5 hours. But now guys, I didn't have that budget, because you know, Kisumu flights to Kisumu are like 12,000, 7,000, so I didn't have that budget. I only had 1,200 to spare for my bus ticket. So it was 1,200 to go, 1,200 to come back, and then I used a motorbike from the stage to the passport control center. And guys, let me tell you, the funniest story happened to me. So I got there, and then the place, the building, or rather, it's of course powered by, I think, our usual companies, but these guys have had a problem with their electric cables. So when we were there was this wind that came, and it was looking like it's about to rain. And guys, I kid you not, I got there really late. I got there like around 4. Power started flickering. There was an issue with one of the power cables. So if every time they usually have like a strong wind, apparently that cable usually shakes and starts sparking fire. So what do, guys? They switch off all the lights and they switch off all the machines, so they cannot work on our papers, and they cannot do the biometric capture for anyone. Guys, let me tell you, I've never been so prayerful in my life. And I was like, why are government places like this? Why do they always have to have so many issues? And they're so dilapidated. They usually have just the worst of everything. If it's a toilet also, they're like, I don't know why. And these are government offices, and they're supposed to have top-notch quality, you know, buildings and everything. But no, not in Kenya. I don't know why. So guys, these guys were so patient with us. First of all, I want to just give a special shout out to the people who work in the passport control KC center. Those guys were so nice to us, you guys. Do you know, like, normally, no offense, but there are offices you will go to and you'll be kicked out. You'll be all of it told to go home. They don't care if you came from Nairobi to Kisii to do this business. They will not even sympathize with you. They'll just be, go home, we don't have power, just go. But imagine these guys were patient with us. In fact, they were sympathizing with us. And they were like, let's be patient, ombeni sana, hizi hii power irudi, ndo tuwahudumie. And we are like, oh God, please, God. So guys, like, after like 20 minutes, imagine the power was able to be restored, or rather the wind stopped blowing and the power was restored, and they were able to serve us. And guys, I was so happy. Like, I didn't have to go back there, because you can imagine, this place is like 12 hours. Okay, no, maybe even, let's give it 13 hours to go and come back. And now imagine someone telling you have to go back to Nairobi and then come back on Monday, because sleeping there will also equal the same amount of going and coming back. So I was gonna be so stressed if it didn't work that day. So I'm very grateful it worked, and I'm very grateful to the team in Kisii that they were so nice to us. And I wish all the government offices would have such people.